All righty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody had a lovely day. And with that being said, let's dive into the TA. Guys, we got some exciting stuff today. NASDAQ popped up to a new high. We did tap that 530 psychological level. And as you could see right here, SPY, the other major index that we follow closely here on this channel, has not yet hit a new all-time high. What I will point out is that it got very close today. It makes no sense that it's not going to, come up to new all-time highs. You got above the 0.786 fib over here, Fibonacci retracement right here at 607.50. As you could see, all right, you got pretty close to all-time highs today. It did not come, but I do think that is coming in the short term. So I want to start that off. I want to start the video off with that right there. All right. If you see a minor pullback tomorrow, it is probably going to just act as a buying opportunity. Support over here on SPY is going to be 606.30, and underneath there we have 604.32, and that is where the daily 9 is. As you could see, we did revert back to the mean. We got the pullback we were looking for. It doesn't matter really how deep this pullback went. It was either probably going to find buyers right here at the daily 9, reversion to the mean, or you were going to come back and test that most recent point of structure, which was at 617. Just like over here, when you had that big impulsive move up, you came back and retest where you broke out from. If we were to see that type of action, you return to 617 where we most recently broke out from, we were going to look for buyers down there. All right, as you could see, we now do have a nice long lower wick here on the weekly candle for this week on SPY. It is very likely that we are going to run up to new all-time highs in the short term. So, we're just going to watch this resistance up here at 608.39. Above there, you have 609.07, and then you have the 610 psychological level above there. Coming over here to QQQ, as you see, we did get our daily close above that upper trend line, which, if you're not new to this channel, if you've been with me for the past, 1 to 2 weeks here, we were looking for sellers to originally step in off of this, trend line here, the upper trend line of this massive rising wedge pattern right here. And ideally, we were going to pull back. You're going to get a wall of worry coming upon, just dropping over the stock market here. You're going to get a lot of people worried. And then after that wall of worry, you are going to shoot up to new highs and get your daily close above the trend line. We spoke about this the other day, guys, when you have a really bearish setup sitting there, and if it invalidates, if you get your daily close above the top of this rising wedge pattern, you very likely are going much higher. It turns immediately into a bullish setup. Shorts are going to get squeezed. I'm not going to say, shorts are behind all the market, action. It's not like that, guys. In reality, it's a continuous market auction here. That is what these indexes are. Who's willing to pay what? And, we clearly see the people who are driving price. They want to drive it higher. You closed out with increasing volume on the day. You closed above that upper trend line, which turns that bearish setup into a bullish one. And, I do think we have 535 to 540 incoming in the short term. That is what I'm looking for. You can now see we have another, monster looking weekly candle over here. Price wants to go higher, guys, and there's no point in fighting it. I pointed out about a week ago how you are going to spot when the tide is actually starting to turn, and it's not yet. And I also pointed out that this daily RSI has not gotten into actual overbought territory yet, whereas at all of these other blow-off style tops, we definitely went up to overbought territory. Okay, over here you got up here, you had the wall of worry come along, you had the bearish divergence here on the daily time frame. You got your pullback. What happened? It got eaten up to a new high, and then you again reached overbought territory, and then you just kept grinding higher and putting in divergences. Over here, you had the same thing. You got into, overbought territory over here, heavily overbought. People were probably like, oh, it's the top, and then you came down. You went up for another high, and it put in a bearish divergence. So, we're not even to this stage yet. In my personal opinion, I do think this market wants to go higher into the end of the year. We are probably going to be closing at the highs, which I think, could be 535 to 540 in the short term. Okay. As far as support goes over here on QQQ, you're not watching the previous all-time high. Just like on this pullback, we're going to be watching the daily 9 here and then the previous all-time high. Same thing as 617 on SPY. We had 515.58 being the previous all-time high over here on the Qs on NASDAQ. And, as you can see, you reverted back to the mean, and then you did pop up to a new high today off of that, tame CPI print. Guys, when CPI comes in tame, you typically just see technicals play out. We had a very clearly bullish setup. If we're going to have volatility, it was going to be off of that event. You didn't get a big gap down. I pointed out yesterday, if you get even a 0.5% gap up, you're probably just going to continue up to new all-time highs. Why? Because if you got the 0.5% gap up, it would have brought you right here, just about to the open of this candlestick towards the upper bound of this candlestick here. At that point, you usually just squeeze on up to new highs. Same thing on SPY, guys. You opened up, that 0.5% up. You open up at the top of the previous candle, just about 0.5%. And from there, same situation, guys. You're probably just going to squeeze up to new highs. You only have 0.6% to go from that point. And as you see, that is what it wants to do. All right. But NASDAQ, big tech, it is the star of the show over here. So let's talk about it. 526.72 is your immediate support down there. Under there, you have 524.04. And then on the upside, we're watching 530.61 and that 535 psychological level. It's going to be right around here. And then 540, guys. This thing can go much higher. We definitely have, setups that are suggesting that. And I do want to say right now, guys, semiconductors are likely about to make a comeback. Point out, the two juicy ones I'm watching and playing on this rebound. I think they're going to be taking the lead and leading the rally. Now, IWM, guys, this is one that I do think can start heating up over here. Now, on the weekly time frame, we could see this lower wick. If you close out, anywhere around, we're going to say 239 to the high over here, 239 to 241, you're going to have a weekly hammer candlestick. I think that is going to be a signal for what is about to come. We came down, we were watching the 21 EMA right here. We were going to watch the 9. You started bouncing around the 9, came down to the 21, same thing that supported price over here. And what is happening, guys? This is the second day in a row. We are finding buyers around there. You were definitely in this wedge-like manner here. You started fading into the close, as you see. It was looking a lot better until you just kind of flushed. But, as you could see, we still are just consolidating in that, it's consolidating / pulling back in that very controlled manner after the impulsive move up. And I do think this is going to resolve itself to the upside. Get above 241.38. That's when you probably just start pushing new all-time highs, 244.98. And then I'm thinking 250. All right, so that's IWM for you. Now, VIX, guys, we had the door open for volatility to re-enter the market yesterday. It did not off the CPI just because of what I just pointed out. Now, we were, fortunately being bullish on that dip, or we were just, we were thinking it was either going to start moving back up with CPI, or CPI was going to create a further buying opportunity for us, a further, area of discount across the board. And we were planning on buying it because of what I just pointed out on SPY and QQQ. No financial advice on this channel. But, we very clearly had weekly bullish structure, and a pullback into where we broke out from was probably going to be met with buyers anyway. It's either going to be reversion to the mean, to the daily 9 EMAs, like we just pointed out, or it was going to, pull back to that previous structure, previous all-time highs before our breakout. And then you're probably going to find buyers there. We have a lot of big tech and semiconductor, bullish setups, in my personal opinion. VIX from this point on, guys, now you're back under the 9. I think it's probably going to start fading back down to the lows. We're going to be revisiting down here. And once we get back down there, we'll look for the next VIX spike, but that is not yet. Okay. Now let's talk about the big boys, the big boys, guys, the Mag 7, the mega caps, whatever you want to call them. I call them the big boys on this channel. On the weekly time frame, clearly we do have a bullish candlestick. It's only Wednesday, so this can close out however it wants. And, even if we pull back, hey, it's not the end of the world. I did point out in yesterday's video, I think we're right here in this, breakout sequence / breakout, move. Okay. I think we're right there. We're right here. I think we're about to get another leg up. I think 650 is incoming. Today, you got almost to 640 over here. You got 638. Not looking too shabby over here for Meta, guys. You did, come up. You passed that 630 level. You ran up to the new high. Like I said, that slow grind. Once you hit overbought territory over here, you just start grinding. I know it's not playing out exactly how we talked about, where you just kind of keep grinding up. But as you can see, it kind of, it was going sideways. It's grinding, okay? It's exactly what we're talking about. At one point, you're probably going to get a move like that where you go vertical for, 1 to 2 trading sessions and you pop up like $30. And that brings you 660 around there. All right, so I'm looking for that. Pullbacks of buying opportunities over here on Mr. Meta. But yeah, I do think this thing is consolidating here in a bullish manner before the next leg up. That's that. All right, coming over to Tesla, guys. We talked about it. I do think 450 is incoming, and then our 465 target is probably incoming. I think 430 to 440 in the short term, probably tomorrow, is going to be, taking place. You got the heaviest volume we have on this, ramp up we got going on here. You see how volume is fading over here while you're in consolidation for 3 weeks, and you break out within a week. You're starting to see the volume steadily pick up. That is more interest at all-time highs, highest price it's ever been. You're having the most interest on this, little pump we got going on here. This thing wants to go higher. Buyers want to drive it higher. I think we're probably going to be hitting that 450 level over the coming trading sessions. But weekly time frame, guys, this thing's looking pretty monstrous. And from that breakout, we did point out within 5 trading sessions, we could get that 30% move, guys. We are up freaking 20%. We're up 20%. There's no denying it. Breakout day number 1 right here. This is, the 5th trading session right here. We got a 1, we got a 2, we got a 3, 4, 5. Maybe it wasn't 30% like we were pointing out. I think it was 27%. That's what I pointed out on these BAS ones over here. And then over here, I pointed it out. Guys, we got 20% of the move. It's probably going to honestly continue higher and get that 30% gain, okay? This thing wants to go higher in the short term. That's all I'm going to say about it. I told you guys it would be leading the rally over here. Is definitely a market leader on big tech. It is, it resolved itself out of this consolidation to the upside, and now it is ripping. That is all we have to say about Tesla. Good, guys. Congrats if you end up playing this one. I was kind of sad to see this thing just skyrocket today. I was hoping you consolidated. You did not. Look at that heavy volume. The thing wants to keep going. It's going to $200. It's kind of crazy. Give it, consolidation for a week or two. Expect it to get bought up. It creates our buying opportunity. All right. You pull back. You give us something like this. All right. Something like that. We look for that. All right. Something like that. We look for the next leg up. Something like that. We look for the next leg up. This thing wants to continue higher. That is Goog. Microsoft, guys, it is trying to pop its head above 451. We got up to 450.35. You can see the 0.786 fib from right here down to the low over here. It is sitting at like 450.60-ish. Guys, if you can get up to 451, I think this thing is going to grind higher up to 457.26 in the short term, and then 468.35 right around the corner within like a week or two. I think it's coming. We're pretty close to all-time highs. You saw what Goog just did. Goog is kind of a very similar setup. So let's go back over the chart. Very similar setup to this, where you had this kind of consolidation going on, and then you started ripping. You also can see right here something like that. Well, guess what? Wrong ticker. Boom. Okay. We're stuck in this consolidation. You just started to break out, guys. This thing's probably going all-time highs. We have plenty of fuel for NASDAQ. Keep going. I pointed out before the move. I'm pointing out again. Plenty of fuel. Plenty of fuel. Now, what did end up pulling back today, guys? We're finally getting that pullback on the Apple boy over here. It's giving the buying opportunity. We hit 250 today, intraday, and we sold off from it. As you could see over here on the 15-minute time frame, you hit around 250. You went slightly higher, almost 251, and then you faded the whole day. I think this thing is probably going to get bought up. Okay, it doesn't have to get bought up immediately, but this is the first reversion to the mean that we're going to be seeing this whole time. If this thing pulls back over here, all right, 243.70 to 245-ish, it's probably going to get bought up. You have a previous high over here at 244.54. All right, pull back into it. That's a previous all-time high now. Previous breakout, the most recent breakout, you probably go higher following that. Deeper the pullback, bigger that buying opportunity here. This thing just broke out. This is week number 2. We're week 1.5 weeks into this breakout, guys. Very likely this dip gets eaten up, and we are heading up to 255 and then 260. I like it. Okay. Amazon over here, guys, you did pop up to a new high today. All right. When you have this going on, let's actually show you. I didn't point out why I like Microsoft so much. Okay. You had all this selling going on. You closed out at the highs above that selling. It is the same exact concept as Amazon over here, guys. You had the selling going on for 2 days, and now you are continuing higher. I think this is probably going to head higher in the short term. I think we can see 235 to 240, and that is Amazon over there, all right? Resistance, 224.20. If you break under there, watch the daily 9. Maybe you bounce around here, okay? And if it's going to get sold, probably gets a little dead cat bounce there and then gets sold. Don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but this thing looks like it wants to continue higher. We could clearly see on the weekly time frame. This thing's, it's a monster. Okay. Most of these are monsters. Now let's talk about the chips. I think they're making that comeback. Okay. Making the comeback right here. Guys, you didn't close out right at the high, but you notice how you had a really big, ugly red candlestick yesterday that took you down, 2.5%. What happened? You got to the top of that candlestick today and you closed out, relatively near the high of that. This thing wants to push. Okay. This thing wants to push. I'm going to point out the tickers that I think will be leading this move in the chips. Let's go over that right now. NVDA. All right. You found buyers stepping around that 0.786 fib. We knew it was very likely that, one of these spots here on the daily RSI was going to be giving us that bounce. This spot that it was in right here, I point out right here. Okay. You still got that bounce. Let's see. You went 6.8% there. What are we at right now? We're only at 4.7. So, if this thing's going to, come a little higher, it's going to still get up, 142-ish over there. But how I'm seeing this chart, guys, you pop above this key level right here, 140.70. That's where you get some reactions over here. That's where you have the daily 9 and the daily 21 just kind of consolidating. You get above it, you probably have clear skies up to 146.50. And then you're probably just going to be moving up to new highs. I'm liking how this is shaping up over here. I'm not sure if we get the pullback opportunity that we were talking about in yesterday's video. It was either going to, it's going to start up like over here, okay, for that decent sized bounce. Or you're going to get over here, you get a major buying opportunity, okay? Major buying opportunity would be right over there. You only spend a few days down there every time for the last like 2 to 3 years. That is 714. That's 2 years right there, 714 days. All right, so, I think NVIDIA, King NVIDIA, is putting back on his crown. He wants to take it higher. Then we're talking AVGO. We got 3 tickers here that I think are going to be leading the way. AVGO over here, guys, insane move. Absolutely insane move. You did pop up back up to the highs over here. This thing wants to break out above 186.42 and it wants to run to 190 and then 200. You have earnings tomorrow after the bell. I'm thinking it's going to be a bullish reaction considering the news that dropped this morning. Guys, Apple and AVGO are going to be working together. That is insane news. All right, insane news. One of the most, expensive companies out there in the stock market, market cap wise. Insane. Okay, insane. AVGO is probably going to be going for a ride. And if they talk about this in the earnings call, on the earnings call, not, right when they drop their earnings numbers, but at the earnings call, which is, usually half an hour later, I think this thing could really move. I think it could really move. It's looking really nice over here, 4-hour and daily time frame. Okay. Now we got TSM. We're going to skip over that. We're going to go over what I think is going to be a market leader, which is going to be ARM. ARM, insanely sexy setup. I pointed out on the Twitter, guys. If you're not already following the Twitter, the link is going to be down below. All right. So that is something that, I suggest following along with. Put on post notifications, guys. I don't post too often over there, so I'm not going to clutter your feed with bull crap, okay? I'm going to post out when I see these clean setups forming so you can make some money off of the, opportunity I am providing. ARM was one I provided right before it broke out of this thing. You now got the daily close above this trend line, guys, above 144.54. We have clear skies, open, waters over here to 152.22. Okay, I think this thing is probably about to go on a ripperoonie over here. You got the double bottom breakout. We're treating, this stair step. This was just one of your stairs. Okay, as a buying opportunity, you pull back into these moving averages. You're likely going to, make a higher high or a higher low compared to over here, considering you had this ugly double bottom and you just broke out of that. If you take the measure move from here to here, guys, you're right here at the neckline. That is a $12 move right there. Take it to the neckline. Where does that bring you? Right up here, 156.786 Fibonacci retracement. So 152 to 156 likely incoming over the coming trading sessions on ARM over here. I think we can start a decent sized move over here. It's definitely coiled up. It's definitely starting to snap, and it wants to snap back. Okay? Now let's talk about TSM, guys. You did get that little gap up. I think this guy is just, taking a little breather over here. I think you probably are going to be running back up the highs. But the 3 setups that I just pointed out, I think those, if you want to trade chips right now, those are probably going to be acting as the leaders of this rally. Those are going to serve you well. Okay? Now, let's talk about INTC. Even, the weakest of the bunch, you're still finding buyers here on the day. And that is, notable over there. We're talking INTC. We're talking AMD. Again, troll, weakest of the bunch. We talked about this yesterday, guys. If it bounces, expect the bullish divergence to be put in. So expect this to be a troll move. Expect to come up for, you know, a lower high over here, lower high, then over here, and then come down to new low. And that is the one that I think you can buy. And that is when I think you can get a decent move. I pointed that out. Bullish divergence over here. You popped up over here from, you know, oversold territory. And then boom, it was a fake move. You didn't take out this high over here. And then you came down to new low. Bullish divergence, okay? You want to find another example? All right, you're kind of bouncing where you are right now, actually, if you just take a look at it. Exactly there, just like over there. Which, honestly, maybe this is the point of putting in divergence. I don't know. I'm not trusting AMD. But as you could see, popped up to new high. Equivalent high, did not take it out, and you came down to a new low, put in that bullish divergence, and then you actually started ripping. All right, you want to see another example? Bounce right from where you are right now. Popped back up, did not take out this previous high right here, okay? You could have even looking at that one or that one. Regardless, if you waited for that one, super safe right there. You literally flipped it into support and then ran. But, you know, didn't take out the previous swing high, and then you came down to new low, as you could see, put in that bullish divergence, okay? So we see this pattern play out a lot over here in AMD. So I talked about it. Don't be tricked into this guy. I think there's much better tickers out there to pay attention to right now. Avgo, NVDA, and ARM. ARM specifically, I think, is ready to move. Bitcoin over here, guys, looks like it's probably going to be popping up to new all-time highs. You know, I think this thing is probably going to be having its next leg up. Weekly charts looking like, you know, how Tesla was looking. Let's just come back over here. Tesla was consolidating over here in this bullish manner with these lower wicks. Well, Bitcoin's doing that on steroids right now. It's just consolidating, and I want to point out what I pointed out in yesterday's video. I wasn't saying to buy this thing. No financial advice will be on this channel. I told you guys I wasn't going to be buying this thing. But MSTR, guys, you did pop above the upper trend line of the pennant we pointed out in yesterday's video. You've started finding buyers right over here off the daily 21. I do think this thing could start heating up above 444.94. I think you have a solid shot at pushing a new high as long as Bitcoin is to then run and, you know, make a new high there. I think MSTR finally could start participating in that move again, whereas right now it's just been consolidating. Am I going to say the other guys look good? No. Coin doesn't look good. Mara doesn't look good. CLSK doesn't look good. Riot doesn't look good. But what does look good? MSTR. Increasing volume, close out the highs. I think it's probably going to test 444.94 over the coming 1 to 2 trading sessions. And then we will see about this new high above 543. All right. Notable setups that I'm paying attention to right now, such playing upstart right here. You're right at the upper trend line, guys. This guy looks like he wants to snap. You know, same thing as ARM over there. It's kind of coiled up right now. You know, except this is even more bullish considering the big impulsive boom up, and now you're just consolidating in a bullish manner. You saw the weekly hammer off the weekly 9 put in last week, and the breakout level right there, the breakout zone, whatever you want to look at this as. I think this is probably going to be getting ready for that next leg up. And you got to see the daily close above the trend line, upper trend line right here. If you can do it, all right, you get above yesterday's high, you get above 81.97, probably push 86.07 in the short term. And then it has a shot at coming all the way up to 94.43. Why do I say that? That is this little swing high from over there, above there, 116.90. I really like how this is shaping up. We know it can make those 20 to 30% moves all in one go. That was 70% right there. Give me 20% up here to 94 bucks. Let's get it. Okay. Rivian, pull back today. All right. You found buyers near the breakout level of 1310. You got the daily 9 over here. I don't think this is necessarily looking so bad. I want to see you close out near the highs, though, on the week, if this is going to, you know, just continue. I know that daily chart is looking good, but, you know, ideally this close out near the highs, and then you test 1530, and then you're at this major trend line. If you could get a weekly close above there, that is amazing. All right, so that is that. Last one I'm going to point out here is NKE, Nike. Guys, you're clearly consolidating here in this bull flag leg manner. You're consolidating in a bullish manner, right around the short-term moving average on the daily. You're holding them, but you're still right around them. Have the bull flag. You just broke out from the falling wedge pattern. I think this thing's getting ready. Get a daily close above 79.93. We're looking for 82.42 and then 84.76. With that being said, ladies and gents, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I appreciate your time. I really do, you know, hope you guys appreciate these videos. I hope you guys are killing in this market. I hope you're making thousands of dollars in this market. You know, whatever your sizing is, 10,000, hundreds of, I hope you're freaking killing it. All right. We're in a hot market right now. We're going to take advantage of it. There will be a time to pump the brakes. Right now, as we can see, weekly charts we're going to look at. You got Apple looking like this. You have Amazon looking like this. You have Google looking like this. You have Microsoft looking like this. Okay? It wants to run. You have Meta looking like this. Okay? And last but not least, you have Amazon. I already called it out. You have Tesla looking like this. I was going to say, I was missing one of them that I pay attention to. These things want to keep dragging the big tech market higher. That is going to be the NASDAQ. You know, if NASDAQ it's typically the leader on these moves. So if NASDAQ is looking like this, okay, and NASDAQ just got a daily close above that trend line, this bearish setup that everyone has had their eyes on, well, guess what? We are probably going to be going higher over here on the major, you know, main indice, which is going to be the S&P 500. We're looking for higher prices, ladies and gents. The pullback was a buying opportunity. I hope you guys took advantage. And, you know, honestly, guys, ride that momentum while it's here in a safe manner, okay? If you would like to ride it out with me in a safe manner, just wait until tomorrow, guys. I will have the Christmas sale. It's going to be 50% off. I will drop the code in tomorrow's video, and we'll be running that sale running into Christmas so people can get in at cheaper prices, okay? So don't buy today. Just letting you know. Tomorrow. And anybody who did sign up today, because there were a few, just, you know, shoot me a DM, and we will, you know, change that. I will add time or give you a refund for half, whatever we may do. All right. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. We're going to kill it. And I hope you guys keep killing it. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.